go? Should I just continue? Okay. Okay, so Tnalak is a traditional Tiboli textile woven from threads of krungan or abaca using mabed or the Tiboli resist dyeing technique. Oh. Sorry. This one. So, it is woven by the Tiboli of Lake Cebu. They are an ethno-linguistic group whose homeland includes the municipality of Lake Cebu in South Cotabato in southern Philippines. So, this paper considers Tnalak's persistence to emerge in blasted landscape. This is an attempt to trace the Tnalak as an actor in networks of its relationships to both human and non-human actors in today's global conditions of precarity. Anat Singh in 2015 describes precarity as the condition of being vulnerable to others. She states that, and I quote, "The other half of today's precarity is the surprising contradictions of post-war development. Modernization was supposed to fill the world with jobs for all, with stable wages and benefits. Now most people depend on much more irregular livelihoods." In exploring Tnalak's network, we start right before the blasted landscape or the global conditions of precarity of post-war. So before the introduction of cash economy in the second half of 20th century in the Tiboli community of Lake Cebu, Tnalak embodied the Tiboli's reciprocal relationships in marriage. It is also an article for exchange and clothing. The Tiboli negotiate and renegotiate ties and status within their community by these exchanges. Tnalak weavers are highly regarded in their community. Tnalak and Tiboli are aligned in their positions in the Tiboli world order. So these photos, these are from Father Casal's Tiboli art book. It illustrates the moninum. It is the last part of the elaborate Tiboli marriage rites. So those are rows of kumo on the right side. In these photos, we can see the Guno Moninum, a house where the bride's guests stay for the Moninum feast. And in front of it, several kumo were hung in rows. These are contributions from the bride's family. Moninum is not practiced anymore. According to Father Casal, the yekumo was central to the complex Tiboli marriage custom as part of the loss or items received by the groom's family from the bride's family. Weaver Boy Barbara Ofong remembers that exchange during her marriage included carabao and horse from his husband's family side, and from their side of the family, Tnalak denoli was woven by her mother. So denoli is just one side of the yekumu. So another weaver, Yabman, shares that the yekumu during her marriage was woven by her mother. This was around 1970s. So before the use of cash, Tnalak was a valuable article for SOAS or article for exchange. A panel of Tnalak can be exchanged with one carabao or sword. Yabman also shares that in the earlier times, Tiboli used Tnalak for everyday clothes made into malong, upper garment, and trousers for men. Some garments were pure black with embroidery with mother of pearl. On to the blasted landscape. That is the second half of the 20th century during the introduction of cash economy. The Tiboli community of Lake Cebu encountered and accepted the Santa Cruz Mission established in 1961. Santa Cruz Mission influenced rapid change among the Tiboli, in particular with its school producing a new generation of Tibolis. Tiboli was confronted with cash economy. The mission defined the ways that the Tiboli engaged with this cash economy through a cottage industry locally known as marketing, which sells Tiboli crafts, including beadwork and Tnalak. So the Tnalak weavers participated in the marketing. The marketing created a link between Tnalak and the market network. Both Tnalak and Tnalak weavers transformed into was transformed into economic resources to sustain Tiboli livelihood. Tnalak's market value was defined by mission on a per meter basis and with the qualities of shine and softness. New identities were also formed linked to the market network. Tiboli men turned to Abaca farmer, Abaca stripper, Abaca polisher, or Abaca supplier, and Tnalak weavers into breadwinners. The weavers shared that the cash they earned in marketing from selling Tnalak was used to buy rice, foods, and clothes. They also made loans and exchanged their Tnalak for rice. Upon delivery of Tnalak, their loan will be deducted from the cost of Tnalak, and they are glad that they do not need to look for buyers. The price then was 150 pesos to 200 pesos per meter. Many weavers were able to provide for their families by creating and selling Tnalak to marketing. The marketing ended sometime in early 1990s, and when the marketing ended, non-Tiboli traders of Tnalak appeared. So we'll now go into the creation of Tnalak as it is shared by the weavers today. They learned Tnalak in the 1970s when the marketing was already established, and they still weave up to now. The creation of Tnalak entails a network of actors in coordination. Tnalak interacts with both human and non-human actors such as Abaca, bamboo, and wood from the forest, the Abaca farmers and stripper, and the unseen, who is Fudalu, the guardian spirit of the Abaca. When activated by Tnalak weaver, the sound from the lemubag for pounding Tnalak signals to the community that a new Tnalak is finished. The motions of Tnalak weaving reverberates throughout the gonobong, or the weaving house, signaling to the weaver's immediate family that she must not be disturbed. Tnalak weavers are encouraged precision and focus. In the process of mebed, or tying of the warp, a weaver shared that she must finish it before starting a new one, because the Tnalak will get jealous. Tnalak demands undivided attention. So these are some of the non-human actors in Tnalak creation. These are the plants for dyes, the Abaca thread, and shells for mordant. As you can see, the shells are really small, and it's delicious. So, and a recent shift in the use of is the use of plastic straw for tying warp, because weavers says that it is more economical and it will be thrown anyway, so they reserve Abaca for weaving because it is precious to them. So Tnalak is also a multi-species interaction. Here, we can see the spaces required by Tnalak in its creation. So there's a weaving house, a clean flowing body of water, the waterfalls where the small shells for mordant are found, Abaca farms, and a shaded space for stripping Abaca, this one on the left. Here, I just want to show you how Tnalak activates the whole community in its creation in every step of the way. So there's 19 steps here, excluding the farming of Abaca. And they actually, the last process for them is selling, wrapping with malong and then selling. They specifically emphasize the selling part as part of the process. Okay, so another non-human actor in Tnalak network is Fudalu, or the guardian spirit of Abaca. Barbara Offong, the one on the right, stressed that before starting Tnalak, she must ask permission or communicate with Fudalu through prayers. Otherwise, the Tnalak will not turn out well because she disrespected Fudalu. She adds that it is essential that all throughout the process that she ask permission from Fudalu to guide her. When she has difficulty finishing a mabed, or when she has forgotten a pattern, she is advised by her sister to implore Fudalu. And during those times, Fudalu will visit her in her sleep and show her what she has forgotten. According to Yabman, the one on the left, Fudalu gives us, and I quote, Fudalu gives us inspiration in design. If Fudalu is not present, the fibers will break. She has to be present. Her spirit has to be with you. The spirit is invisible. We cannot see her physically. She visits us in our dreams, and she shows us inspiration on what to do. Yabman is constantly connected to Fudalu. When she is not in the mood, she rests. Fudalu should be with her. Her spirit should guide her, she says. She thanks Fudalu that she was able to finish all the weaving processes, and she also asks Fudalu for permission before cutting Tnalak. At present, she seldom dreams of Fudalu but is always guided by her spirit. Fudalu, a non-human actor, demands respect in her domain of Abaka. Fudalu holds memories and enacts remembering. Fudalu guides the weaver in maintaining the Tnalak and the Tiboli's inner force, even these times of precarity. Fudalu and the weavers are constantly connecting and reconnecting their relationship, as in connecting Abaka during Tnalak creation. In this plate also, on the left part, you can see the mabaga, the one Yabman is holding. So mabaga is a template or a sample of a design in a smaller scale when they are visited by Fudalu and bestowed a mabed. So mabaga renders the guidance of Fudalu into materiality. It also holds memories for the weavers. Tnalak also enacts remembering. It holds memories and Tiboli cosmology. It invokes maternal inheritance and renders materiality to oral tradition. On the right is Tadanan Sowu by Barbara Offong. This evokes a sleeping sowu or snake that the weaver saw in a dream. Barbara shares that the python design is special to her mother. It is believed that python hides her skin pattern. The python would physically show their most spectacular skin pattern to only selected weavers. Barbara's mother was among those weavers, and that is how her mother made the sowu design of Tnalak. Python has a spiritual status among the Tiboli. Barbara shares that at present, pythons do not show themselves to weavers anymore. On the left is Haguklung by Yabman. She remembers her first Tnalak, Haguklung. Haguklung is the shield of the Tiboli epic protagonist Tudbulul. Her grandfather, Bago, was a chanter who used to chant Tudbulul. She finished her first Tnalak at 20 years old with advice and guidance from her mother. She recalls how Haguklung was extremely difficult to do, that she had to redo it 6 times before learning how to do it correctly. Today, multiple realities in Tnalak network coexist. Tnalak is the main source of livelihood for many Tiboli. Tnalak weavers regard Tnalak weaving as their profession, like those who finish their education, but they also recognize that it is not enough anymore to sustain their families. Tnalak has varied connection to the market network today, local middlemen, designers, collectors, advocates, buyers. Tnalak weavers redefined the identity of Tnalak today, traditional and commercial, but still with buyers in mind. So on the left, you can see the commercial Tnalak with 2 colors. And on the right, the traditional Tnalak is the one on the right. It's made by Boy Inas Cone, one of the elder Tnalak weavers. So it has higher value, and it is made using traditional dyes, the plant dyes. While this commercial bicolor used synthetic dyes, and they are associated with new learners of Tnalak. While today's Tiboli makes a distinction between these 2 types, they recognize that both are Tnalak and both are made with pure Abaka. As Father Casal said in 1978, all authentic and truly traditional Tiboli Tnalak is always woven entirely out of abaca fiber. Traditional Tnalak, according to Tnalak elder weavers, means closely following the naturally dyed tricolor practice of bukay, hulo, and hitim, and making the designs that are passed on to them by their maternal ancestors, guided by Fudalu. They all exclusively do this traditional Tnalak because for them that their Tibol identity is connected to this traditional Tnalak. Tnalak has many encounters with the market network. Nida, one Tnalak weaver who leads a community of weavers, shared that they adjust their designs according to the requests of designers. But they also negotiate that these designs should be in tricolor, red, white, and black. Because Nida emphasized that it's a respect to the spirit of their work, maintaining those colors. Nida has worked with different designers who make specific design requests, which they accommodate. A young Tiboli weaver in the community has voiced out that she aspires for the Tiboli themselves to be able to join art fairs as themselves and not through the designer. So this one on the left is by Kaayo. I don't know if this is on sale still, because this one is printed on textile. I think it's sublimated print, this swimwear. And I think that one is unidentified in their post. They didn't identify whether it's a face mask or a sun visor. Anyway, when during art fairs, the designers would be the one on named, not really the weavers. So this sentiment of the young Tiboli weaver is parallel to SCRAS, and I quote, both government and non-government efforts at supporting artisans are criticized for providing limited and ineffectual programs and policies. Moreover, recent consumer trends like fair trade are likewise only piecemeal and limited in terms of a long-term support that they can give to struggling artisan communities. The one on the right, I just put there because Yabman is on the left. She's a very important weaver. And as you can see in the artistic directing of this picture, the one highlighted is the model. And this one is Filipina. Tnalak has also encountered many tension. In these photos, we can see how some designers have used Tnalak as raw material, or the patterns printed on swimwear. The Tiboli community have already agreed on guidelines on the use of Tnalak, not on footwear, on face mask, as these signifies disrespect. The designers agree, in the name of avoiding cultural appropriation. Tnalak, already transformed into a commodity for many decades, this is still elusive to industrialization. In the market network, it seems that Tnalak has not been given the valuation that it deserves. Tnalak weavers repeatedly share that they hope that the Tnalak would be given more monetary value than how much it is now. Tnalak is equated to Tiboli identity. In 1998, Lang Dulay, an expert Tnalak weaver, was awarded the National Living Treasures Award. She gave national prominence to both Tnalak as an art form and the Tiboli people. And in 2023, another Tnalak weaver, Barbara Offong, was awarded with the same recognition. The National Commission for Culture and the Arts, a national institution, recognizes Tnalak as traditional weaving, and the NCCA Gamaba conferred two weavers, Boy Lang Dulay and Boy Barbara Ofong. These recognitions encourages Tnalak weavers to continue weaving and evokes pride among the Tiboli youth. But the elder Tnalak weavers are also exhausted. They voice out to anybody who will listen that they need support, especially in their declining health, such is Tnalak weaving and precarity. Mira Lau in 2003 describes the various physical risks and health hazards, low rates of pay, lack of labor unions and labor laws, and general exploitative conditions faced by artisan workers. Here I am showing the recently awarded National Living Treasures Award boy, Barbara Ofong, 20 years apart, in the same river where she washes her Tnalak. It seems that the persistence in precarity of Tnalak and its proximate actors lies in its ability to associate entities together to networks of market and institutions of here and now. The market composed of designers, buyers, art fair organizers, among others, and institutions such as the NCCA. The Tnalak and proximate actors, the Tnalak weavers, their tools and space for weaving, the Tiboli community and Lake Cebu forest and streams. This network of actors constantly reconfigures themselves to negotiate, accommodate, resist, maintain, or transform encounters from other actors without severing their strong and intimate relationship with their Tiboli inner spirit. The indeterminacy of their encounters is, as Anna Ching says, is not the end of history, but rather that node in which many beginnings lie in wait. In the global conditions of precarity, without collaborations, we all die. As we can see in this symposium, Tnalak insists attention. All of us here, we are all now actors in Tnalak's network. So let the collaborations flow, I guess. Maraming salamat po.